Welcome, everybody, to episode 5 of the Straight Talk Commerce podcast. I'm David Layton with Wayne Altman, my brother. Sometimes we're on the other side of issues, and our host, Ian Slade. Ian, over to you.
All right. So thank you guys for another evening here. And tonight we're going to talk about the top 10.
Hold on. First thing we're going to talk about is sunglass. You got to explain what's going on with the sunglass.
Yeah. So I did have eye surgery yesterday. And unfortunately, this is not Halloween. So I will spare you the gory look of 31 sutures.
Then we don't need to see it. We know you're. So I just wanted everyone to know how hard we work to get this to you every single week.
That's right.
Ian's over here getting his eyes worked on so he can do a better podcast. He's not trying to school.
That's right. Come hell or high water or eye surgery, we will be here for you guys every week. So
seriously, we're glad that you're okay and everything is cool. So then we can get started.
All right. Let's go ahead and do that. And okay, so for tonight, our topic will be the top 10 businesses with the highest chance of success. All right. The first on the list, this is a little bit controversial. Real estate. I think this varies from state to state, county to county, city to city almost. But all right, my favorite question for you two. If someone is at their cubicle trying to figure out what can I do as a side hustle, or they're driving home wishing they had a little bit more money in the bank account, and they're thinking about real estate, what should they do first?
Okay, look, there's many angles that you can look at real estate. Real estate is many different things. You live in real estate. You can also rent it out. It is a very passive income for a lot of people. They can get a property manager to come in. So it's not just buying up lots of land and then waiting for the price to go up. It's a very safe investment, has been for a long time. And so that's what we're talking about. How easy is it to be successful at these different things? Throughout my life, I have owned rental properties and homes. I have yet to fail to make money on any of those things. It belongs at the top of the list. We will always need a place to live, and other people will always need a place to live. So that is the way that I was looking at that placement.
I agree. That's an industry where you can make money. You have to be careful. There's downturns. If you talk about disruption from technology, I know there's something going on where they're just trying to normalize and reduce the amount of fees that realtors can charge. So if you're on that side of the business, I know that they've overbuilt apartments, I just heard, in some big areas like LA. I saw an article about that. Yeah, so be careful. But I think there's angles, and especially when we bring it back around to e-commerce, certainly areas to be automated. I remember when West Side Rentals just started. Now they have West Side Rentals, I know, all over California. I don't know if it's made it out of California yet, but big business and big opportunity, especially if you're e-commerce savvy.
How about as a realtor?
Respond to that. My very good friend Warren Buffett once said, he was standing in front of a group of people, and one of the reporters said, "Hey, Warren, did you notice you lost $10 million in the market today?" And he looked around and he said, "No, I did not. I won't lose any money until I sell that investment. It's going right back up."
That's
and
right.
That brings up a very good point. You're right, Dave. If you sell at the wrong time, you can lose money on anything. You go into these investments, you go into these things, whether it's a small business, whether it's a large company, you go into these things knowing you're in it for the long haul. As over time, it will grow. And again, you're correct. You are correct. If you sell at the wrong time, you're in for a bad.
And just, I think, so being in a financial position, if you're going to hold it or if you're trying to come in and out. So I'm with you.
How about as a realtor, right? So people who are thinking about realtors, again, starting out as a side hustle, is now the right time to do that? Should they hold off? Any tips for potential realtors out there?
So there's never a bad time. There are better time, there are worse time, but there's never a bad time because people will always need to. Number one, if you're in the mortgage business, which I was in the mortgage business for 18 years, there are a lot of people that are trying to get out of a zombie mortgage or a bad mortgage, right? Interest rates go up and it's time for them to skedaddle out of the mortgage that made so much sense 5 years ago. Doesn't make sense anymore to be in that. Realtors, there are a lot of people who do that as a side hustle, especially around me and around Ian, around you. There are a ton of people that's their side gig because it's easy to get started. It's easy to qualify, take the classes and get the licensing to do that. How successful they are is the same as any business. It's learning the tools and the techniques for doing this and then applying them and how quickly you can ramp up and learn how to be a realtor. Did we lose him?
So, look,
No.
and I agree with that, Wayne. The knowledge, just having that knowledge in life, right? Whether if you do invest the time for education, and some we'll talk about on future episodes. There's so many different certifications, and what should I take for this, and do I go down that? If you're getting that education, whether you decide to go into real estate or not, that's going to be valuable.
Just with our channel here, if anybody's paying attention, we get a lot of repeat customers here, if you haven't noticed, okay? And every single night, I am watching our subscribers go through the roof. That's not by accident. There is work that goes on behind the scenes. And the reason I mention that is because if you are a realtor, no matter where you are, and no one knows you reel it, okay? No one knows that you are actually in that game. Guess what? You are going to fail miserably. If you promote yourself, if everyone you meet knows that's what you do and you have learned those skills, you're going to be highly successful. That side gig is quickly going to become your main gig.
Awesome. So to summarize, there is no bad time to get into real estate. There are better, there are worse, but there's no bad time. There's always a need for real estate. Okay. I think the second one will surprise most of our viewers. It's something that we pass by every day, but we don't really think about it as a business opportunity. And what I'm talking about is laundromat. So, Wayne, why a laundromat?
Look, I was as surprised as anybody else when doing the research for this. It was like, hey, I went to one of the things I do for this channel is I research the topics that people are searching for. Okay. And that's how we pick our weekly topics that we are going to, because we listen to our subscribers. We listen to the people who actually are finding us. Okay. Now, depending on where you are in the country, whether you are in major cities, whether you are in a rural area, that will depend on whether or not this is a good business. Your locality is going to determine whether this is a good business or a lesser business. If you are downtown in major cities, this is going to be a very good business for you to be in. A lot of people like to congregate where it's safe and clean and dry and warm. And as long as you keep your laundromat that way, you're going to do bang business. It is going to go crazy. But if you are in, say, Lamoni, Iowa, where there's only about 400 and some odd people, sorry, Lamoni, I don't know what your population is, but that's where my daughter goes to school. It's a very small town. And if you're there, your customer base is much less. So it is going to be a little bit tougher to run a laundromat in a place that has low traffic, low population.
Makes a lot of sense. David?
Look, I saw that years ago, right? Why I didn't invest in one at that time, beyond me, but it's amazing. And also, when you look at the growth of technology, some businesses are just not going to be replaced. And I think that's 100% one of them. Consistent revenue, and just a business model that will be everlasting. And probably leads into the next one on the list, Ian, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So things that won't go away, vending machine. When I was working nights in the ER, vending machine was my church. It's what I go to for sustenance at 3 in the morning because nothing's open. So I think that vending machines are definitely here to stay. Now, if you were to start out with a vending machine, which location would you go to? Gas station, corporate building, school? Where would you go, Wayne?
Look, this is one that's a little bit tricky, okay? Because you would think, okay, a lot of the good locations are taken. Airports, hospital,
Right.
they're all licensed. You're going to need to have partnership with the place where you're going to go. That being said, you can sign up with these vending organizations and they will help you locate your location where
Yeah.
again, this is going to be very specific to locality. If you live in a college town, being able to get somewhere where there's tons of student traffic is going to be very key to your success. If you are in a very low elderly population, you're going to have to pay very close attention to what you're selling in that vending machine. And you're going to have to pay very close attention to whether or not you're getting enough traffic. But all things being equal, it wouldn't be on the list if it wasn't still a fantastic way of earning an extra check.
Absolutely.
For sure. Look, and I don't know, Wayne, if that answer was just thinking about vending machines and people would use to buy candy bars or food or things like that. I remember last time I was in Vegas, there was a vending machine selling headphones. Apple products.
Absolutely.
Every airport I have been in the 10 years has ear pods and headphones and
Right.
medicine in it. So yeah, you do not have to be hungry to be putting your money in a vending machine. That is for sure.
Look, and nowadays, if you look at no cash, many of them are card only.
Yep.
There are even maybe some places and maybe more seedier parts of town where you don't even have to refill the thing. There might be booths watching certain types of films where people are just putting credit cards in. Everything can be changed and uploaded via the web. And
Yep.
now that cuts your costs tremendous.
It is definitely something for people to be keeping an eye on, because you're right. Anything can be vended.
And
Did you know that music can uplift your mood? MelodyClouds gives you a large selection of binaural beats, solfeggio, guided meditation, and nature sounds. All are designed to elevate and focus your mood. Start enjoying more than 17,000 audiobooks and 300,000 files of rich audio entertainment today. Subscriptions start at $5.99.
And you don't need a lot of overhead to be around. So have the system plugged in, working, has ability to do the transaction with your credit card, and you're good to go. All right. The next one is something that Marie Kondo wouldn't like, and that is self-storage. She would rather you get rid of things that don't bring you joy. But the reality is we are still holding on to things that we shouldn't, and we need more storage. So let's start off with David. Self-storage. If this is something you want to get into, where should we start?
Look, I think that's just about real estate, and it's amazing how much I think businesses like that are just very cut and dry, right? You're going to pay X amount per square foot. That part of town, you can sell the units for a certain amount, and it's low maintenance and low headache. They don't pay the bill. Now you're on storage war in a big TV show. Yeah, I think I personally haven't looked into that myself or know people that have owned those, but it looks like they're just printing money in those businesses. Wayne, what do you think?
Listen, this hit very close to home. When I saw that, I got a big smile on my face because I have 2 kids in college. And if it's very easy to research areas of the country, whether or not the need, we're talking about where there is a need. You always want to fill a need. It doesn't matter what business it is. If there is a need, you're going to be successful, properly managed. You properly managed, you're filling a need, you're going to be successful. I'll give you a quick story. Lamoni, shouting you out again. My daughter goes to a school called Graceland, great university. The problem with Graceland is when the kids come home during the summer, 2 or 3 months during the summer, there is no storage near the university. We had to take all of Reagan's stuff and over 100 miles away found a storage for her car and for all of her stuff. That way she didn't have to carry it all back to California where we live. Someone that is listening to this near Lamoni, Iowa, please open storage. I guarantee you it will be a massive success.
Awesome. Now, the other part of this is storage wars. The people who don't own storage facilities, but they serve as a broker or liaison to sell the items wherein folks either forgot or just abandoned their own storages. Is that something that might be lucrative? What do you guys think about that?
100% auction houses, that's what you're talking about. And that's what makes even storage buildings even more lucrative. Because frankly, they don't let you go too long before it's time to snip the lock and they're going to get their money back. Plus, profit margin on that square footage is extremely high. So wherever you are, you take the amount of square footage they're renting to you, and you miss a couple months, I think it's 90 days, you miss a few months, and they're able to go in and lease that space again.
Wow. All right. So self-storage is the place to be. Now let's shift to something that is closer to my heart. Senior housing. One of the biggest challenges when I was still working at the bedside was after we spent days, weeks, sometimes months for patients to literally get back on their feet, finding a place for them to go is now increasingly hard, right? Our elderly population are living longer, but the senior housing isn't catching up. So I think this is a great place to get into if this is something that you might be passionate about. Gents, any thoughts?
The baby boomers, right? People are getting older. We're right in this twisted longevity where now people are living longer too. Certainly think that senior housing, even any types of services for seniors, is certainly a business that's just going to continue to grow and be safe.
Yeah, I agree. We love warehousing our old people. It's been insane to me. But I also understand it to a limited degree because, look, it's a specialized service. Done right, taking care of someone that's elderly is a very difficult job to do. In all services, I think this particular service is on the list a couple times, if I'm not mistaken. And so it's either home health care or lodging as well, convalescent centers or rehabilitation centers. These are necessary things. And actually, really, you need to be called, much like being a teacher, you need to be called to do that thing, in my view. Okay? Not to beat up on teachers, but I don't want teachers to be paid a whole lot of money. I want only the teachers that are going to really want to do that job teaching my children. Not a very popular view. I get it. However, if you think about it for a minute, you see my point. As far as elderly care goes, getting back to that, listen, until we change our attitude about how we handle or circumstances change, how about that? We are going to continue to need these type of elderly care situations. And it is really up to us to make sure that they're run properly and that they are legislated properly and that our seniors are getting the absolute best care that we could possibly provide to them.
100%. My mom, she just turned 80, and today or actually yesterday, coincidentally, she was having eye surgery too. She got her second cataract surgery done. So now not now, but in a few weeks, she'll be seeing close to 20/20 at 80. Now, she's trying to get her teeth done. And the problem is there's nothing close to her. So now she's looking for transportation, the shuttle transportation. So I think senior transportation is another really important business that is needed pretty much everywhere, but not a lot of people want to get into it. So I agree with you, Wayne. You definitely need to have calling for it, something you want to do, because God forbid you're not doing your best and seniors get hurt. But at the same time, this is truly a lucrative business, right? If the charity, the helping part isn't really your thing, maybe you can find people that are willing to do that and you run the business. I think it's a absolutely great opportunity. Speaking of having other people do the actual work, business consulting. So this is what I do on the healthcare side. And it truly is, especially with AI, people are trying to figure out what do we do in this new landscape. And I think, Wayne, for you and for David, in your industries as well, AI is just like a dynamite to the ocean. It's disrupting everything. So love to get your thoughts on people who want to go into business consulting.
Look, I could not do what it is I do without AI. I probably use AI as much, if not more, than anybody else I know. I am constantly using AI when it comes to this particular podcast, whether it's any of my businesses that I'm trying to run. It is indispensable to me. That being said, what I have noticed is there are a lot of business owners coming to me who have no idea how to promote their business. They have no idea how to grow their business because of lack of promotion, or how to set up their business so they can operate more things and do more things with fewer and fewer missing pieces or people. So yes, I think that business consulting, if that's what you want to get into and you actually know what you're talking about, because there are a lot of people that are in business consulting that will be happy to take your check, but they really do not know or have any skin in the game whatsoever when it comes to whether you're successful or not. And I would urge anybody, especially the people listening to this podcast, go with the proven. Have someone refer someone to you. Check out and make sure that all of those consultants that you're about to hire for large sums can actually put up the numbers, or you got to show them the door.
Yeah, look, I think that first of all, it's a very wide range, right? I think consulting and the staff augmentation side of the business, Ian, that we do, that's one thing. Leveraging our expertise and helping businesses move to this new normal, whether it's employees moving, stuff that they can use AI for to transform their businesses. Just a number of new business models, looking for some of these more non-technical businesses that can now really leverage AI to improve their workflows, save money, save costs. There's employee costs, there's educating your employee so they can be more effective. Yeah, I think it's a pretty wide range business consulting, but certainly something that if you're hustling and you're working hard, and you're automating your business, will be here to stay. A good way to make money. And just Ian, back to you mentioned earlier, teachers. I think education we'll see in the top 10 list in the future too, because I do see many new ways to where I think that whole way of being is going to be transformed. I don't know, for the 4-year degrees now and the amount of debt and just 4 years now, it's going to seem, just think of 2028. What's it going to look?
Absolutely.
That's a very good point, because I was surprised tutoring, in case anybody's wondering, tutoring was not, or giving extra help did not make this top 10 list. And I was actually pretty surprised because where I live, mathnasium, Kumon, all of these different tutoring places are available. And I don't know about all over the country whether or not that's actually the case. One of the things, I was having a conversation a couple weeks ago with someone, the highest paid teacher, at least this was true a couple of years ago. I did a little bit of research. The highest paid teacher in the world, $4.1 million, high school teacher in Korea. And the reason that he made so much money was because he would give Zoom classes over the final test of the national test to get into college in South Korea. And parents were paying this man between $45,000 and $50,000 to teach their children the things they needed to get into that test and to do well. And why someone has not done something like that in the United States, or that I'm aware of, that everyone is aware of, they need to look into that. It needs to happen quickly.
Yeah, well, I think there were some parents at USC that paid into some program. I don't know that worked out too well for them.
Unfortunately for them, that didn't work too well, but I was all for it. You realize
Polo sports, the water polo.
each one of the people that went to jail paid for their kid and 2 other children to go to college, and we're dumb enough to throw them in jail for that. Crazy.
I hear you, and I'll tell you, and I think just to close out the business consulting for our listeners that have their business and have entrepreneurs, or that are entrepreneurs, and they need services, or they need to hire social media, somebody like Wayne that's going to build their channel. Professional is expensive, but an amateur costs a fortune.
Absolutely.
Oh, there we go. There's Dave's clip right there, Ian. There
That's right. That's right.
This
That
clip
is
is
the
coming up.
Ends that, but I'll take credit for it.
And scene. All right. Let's tackle something even bigger. E-commerce. Wayne, this is absolutely in your wheelhouse. Again, someone thinking about doing a side business, they're thinking about e-commerce. How should they approach this?
So this is what I would tell you. Anybody that is looking to get into any kind of business, but especially e-commerce, I would head over to flippa.com, FLIPA.com. There you will find all kinds of businesses for sale, from the Shopify store that has never sold a product, but it's all built for you, all the way to a luxury watch brand that has licensing with the NFL and the NBA and all kinds of very luxurious watches for you so between $5 million and $400 business. So it's really for everybody. 2 reasons I say do that. Number one, not necessarily to give Flip a whole bunch of business that I don't get paid for, but it should get your juices flowing and should get your mind working and racing and get you excited about doing this, because that's really what we're about. We want more people to go into business. We want people to actually replace their income and stop working for the man or stop working for the company that they work for. I'm all for that. So that would be the place that is the place I started. I love the website, and I love sitting, even to this day, I go there and dream about what would I do if I owned this business? Okay, what about this one? And if you're ever wondering why someone would sell a profitable business, think about it. There are millions of reasons to own a business and sell a business. There could have been a death in the family. The owner could just be tired of it. They need to relocate, but the business is hard. It's hard for them to relocate. You have no idea what the motivations of that seller are, and nor should you really care. If the business is a solid business and he's offering it to you at a fair price, then go for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Wayne, you mentioned flipping to me a while ago, and you're right, I think, but buyer beware. These could be great businesses. Being an entrepreneur and owning your own business, it does require a lot of work and staying on top of things and getting things done. So yeah, look at Flip and get inspired, right? You'll see all sorts of businesses there that you probably didn't even know were businesses. And then you see it and you're like, oh, duh. Or wow, I hadn't even thought of that. So I think you're
Well,
right. I think it'll inspire people's thoughts to think of other things and things that might be appropriate for their community. And then they can spin up e-commerce or companies and put them on Flippa and then do it all again. So
that's why they call it Flip a Day. People who build a business and sell it to somebody. Listen, to pair up what you were saying, there are several businesses that I had purchased from Flippa and ideas that I got. I was at a party one time and a buddy of mine said, hey, I want you to listen to this track of music. I know that you have tinnitus, which is a ringing in my ear. And 15 minutes later, I'm looking for someone to build software for me for MelodyClouds. So you never know where the inspiration is going to hit. I'm so glad that he did that, by the way. Number one, it helped with the tinnitus. Some people call it that. But the other reason is because it's extremely profitable for my family. Thank Dave for doing that. Not you, Dave.
The other day.
Different Dave.
All right. So they're on the site. They're looking at 3 things that catches their eye. How should they prioritize which one to go with?
Number one, which one is the most, do they think is the most doable? Do they know the most about? Because there's a learning curve on anything that you purchase. If you don't know anything about restocking a vending machine, guess what? You need to learn, or you need to move along to somebody or give that opportunity to someone who does have that skill set. Okay. Software as a service. If you don't know anything about A, selling software, or B, what software you want to sell, probably not the best idea for you. But if one of your passions is luxury watches, like a company in Florida that is just in your wheelhouse, and if you have $4.5 million, guess what? You can be in the luxury watch business and make a hell of a profit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. The next one is actually still adjacent to your wheelhouse, event planning. And this might be a good time to plug our event coming up towards the end of this year.
Yes, September. We are shooting for September still. Found a place. I think that it's all going to work out very well. Speaking of event planning, my lovely wife is an event planner. That's what she does for a living. She's so good at it. She holds 5 world records at it. So she's really excellent. This is going to be an awesome event. We're going to bring probably between 6 and 10 venture capitalists, business people to judge and to listen to business ideas and already created businesses. And once we've heard your idea, once we've heard where you are in the business, we're going to judge those business a la Shark Tank. That's the best thing I can explain it, right? Those winners will receive either $5,000 or $2,500 to further their business. And anybody else is going to be able to put that business in front of people that just might want to invest in that business. So if you're looking for venture capital money, seed money, if you got a great idea, this event is probably going to be something you want to go to. Now, if you do not live in my area, which is, again, Rancho Cucamonga, California, it will be live. So you will be able to watch the event, participate in the event, with the exception of present your business idea, and you will be able to learn right alongside all of the people that actually have made it into the event. Now, seating is going to be limited. I can already tell you between 300 and 350 people. When we announce that these tickets are available, you need to move quickly, and that's no fluff. I'm just letting you know that the area that I live in, there are a lot of entrepreneurs that are going to want to be in this room. In the next couple weeks, I will be announcing price and where the event is going to take place, and I hope everybody's excited.
Definitely be there.
Oh.
Yes. Go ahead, David.
No, and thanks. And same with the area I live in. Maybe we'll have it closer to me. But regardless.
In today's rapidly evolving healthcare landscape, effective project management is more crucial than ever. Many organizations struggle with achieving their goals due to inefficiencies and lack of direction. Tony Robbins' RPM framework can transform this approach. The RPM framework provides a roadmap for success. You'll soon see how applying these principles can revolutionize healthcare project management and lead to better outcomes for everyone involved. Let's take a deeper dive into applying the RPM framework to healthcare project management. It all begins with defining your outcomes. Think improved patient care, operational efficiency, and data accuracy. These goals set the stage for transformation. Next, understand your why. This is where you align your efforts with greater purposes like patient-centered care, innovation, and sustainability. A clear why gives you direction and purpose. Now, create your roadmap. Engage stakeholders early and often. Conduct readiness assessments to gauge where you are and what you need. Develop comprehensive training programs to bring everyone up to speed. Set concrete milestones and metrics so you can measure progress along the way. And don't forget, communication is key. Regular updates keep everyone aligned and motivated. Lastly, focus on the 20% of actions that will yield 80% of the results. This principle keeps you efficient and effective, concentrating efforts where they matter most. By following these steps, you harness the power of the RPM framework to reimagine project management in healthcare. This approach transforms outcomes and drives innovation in real-world examples. By applying the RPM framework, healthcare organizations can achieve transformative results. Imagine enhanced patient care, streamlined operations, and accurate data management. These are not just possibilities, but tangible outcomes. Real-life examples showcase the remarkable successes already achieved. Increased efficiency in patient care and precise data management demonstrates the framework's profound impact. Now it's your turn to start the transformation. If you seek guidance or assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Your journey to better healthcare project management begins now. Join Healthcare Project Management Association, or HPMA, today. Your first step in this adventure is contacting Ian Slade at ian@itconsultinggroup.com. He can guide your path from there.
We have community happening all the time, right? I think the AI think tanks within the Witty community this week were great. We do have the Odyssey men's group starting on Saturday. By the time this podcast airs, we'll be going into the second one. I just think, look, we're on Zoom. Yes, the event we're going to have in the fourth quarter is going to be great, but time to take action now. And if
That's a very good point. I didn't mean to jump in, but I want to jump on the back of, because if you are a small business owner and you are not in a work group, if you're not in a think tank, you need to seriously question whether or not it's not a good idea for you. And Odyssey, you mentioned Odyssey. I think I know that it's an excellent idea, because that is going to be a very heavy focus of what Odyssey is about. We're all on an Odyssey. We're all on this trip together, and we need to be there to help one another and to work together. And I'm very privileged to work with you on this, Dave. The more we work on this, the more excited I get about it, because of all of the educational opportunities, business opportunities, and just being around a bunch of guys with very high energy that really are working toward a goal and want to enrich their life in many ways.
Yeah. No, and I think just we're in such an amazing world now, not just AI, not just e-commerce, but even these tools, Zoom, YouTube. What Zoom I've been digging into, because they've been adding a lot of AI features. And now for our AI think tanks, as everybody comes in and is sharing the tools and the URLs they use, one thing they recently added was just continuous chat. So now when people come in, you can see all the tools that have been posted, because I think what we'll see, and whether we get into some of our favorite AI tools this episode or during the next one, these are changing. we're just such at an infant state with this stuff, and there are many new things coming out every day that's just going to make life easier for you.
100%. So just to wrap up event planning. So let's say that you're into weddings, you're into commercial events, you're into parties. Where does one go to get started with this?
Look, that's about it. Sorry, wait.
Go ahead. Oh, Dave, yeah.
That's these e-commerce sites, right? If you think of the Knot, and I think early internet, that was one of the first kind of wedding planner sites that started, and it was just building that infrastructure. What cost you $1 million back then, maybe in the late 90s, might cost $10,000 today, or you can buy it on Flippa, right?
So this is what I would tell you. Always, with every business, it's friends and family. So if you're good at, you want to do events, you start with kids' parties and you get super good and you realize all the pieces that need to come together. And then you move on to weddings, bar mitzvahs, all of these things that people need, the planning and stuff, graduation parties. There's a ton of different opportunities for you. And then it's all about marketing. It's about once you've exhausted your familial circle and your friends, and every one of your friends knows that's what you do and you do it well, then it's time to start marketing yourself. And that is another very good reason to bring a group of people around you that are like-minded, entrepreneurial, and show you exactly how things get marketed and get promoted. Because you need to learn to promote yourself. No one is going to find you if you live in the middle of a black hole, okay? That is just, it's not the way that things work. Life does not work that way. Things go viral for a reason. There is something special about those things that make them go viral. Don't count on going viral. You can force it. You can promote yourself like P.T. Barnum or like all of these other movies. Even movies have commercials for them. Everyone loves movies. You got to commercialize yourself. You got to put yourself out there. So that's what I would suggest that you do. Once you have the skill set, then you start promoting and you've exhausted that family circle. You need to then start promoting yourself to other people outside that circle and allow it to grow.
That is great advice. Absolutely. Start small and scale. All right. Almost there, guys. If you're still with us, we are down to the last two. I think they're related, but you can take it in very different directions. Number 9 on our list is cleaning services. Now, there's a lot to this. You could either be the actual cleaner, you can deal with the cleaning supplies, you can deal with the soap, you can deal with the scheduling and sending people to different houses, industrial buildings. There's so much in the cleaning services to dive into. David, where would you start if you were thinking about being in the cleaning services because your coworker said, Dave, you're a little bit of a clean freak. You might want to make that into a business.
They won't be saying that, first of all.
Not-
But I will say that coming from the talent management space, first of all, but people out there to service territories, right? I think that,
Right.
look, you talk about another business that will never be replaced by technology. And I think cleaning services, and like you said, Ian, whether it's soap or supplies or brooms or mops or whatever else, when you have population, you're going to need those services. So what do you think, Wayne? Have you ever dabbled in that industry?
Well, I didn't just dabble, Dave. I didn't just dabble. And I'm going to take this in a totally different direction than you guys are probably going to, realize. So the Army, I began a cleaning service, cleaning up after dead bodies that had been there for a while, okay? A very good friend of mine owned Southern Janitorial in Conroe, Texas. Shout out Daryl Jackson. And I got a list of everything I would need to clean up after someone who had expired. That turned into a business I owned for 5 or 6 years and was incredibly lucrative because, think about it, who wants to be the last memory of Nana, Grandma. Nobody wants to go and do that kind of thing. And so if you start off, you learn the rope, you know what cleaning agent go for, because the body turns into some horrible things. Once you learn how to clean that up, then you can turn, and your business is starting to grow. The first thing that you do is turn toward a hospital and the orderlies that come through that door, and they need a side gig. And you hire them at double what they make at the hospital to take care of the people that, that have expired. Okay. Much easier to clean up after people in the hospital or surgery wards than it is to do that. You're going to need to pay them appropriately. But let me tell you something. That business lasted 5 or 6 years until I moved to California, and I made a killing.
Pun intended.
What's that?
Pun intended.
Yeah, pun intended. Yes. Yeah. And listen, in Texas, people go south very quickly. You got to be ready for that. But if you can stomach that, or let's say, Ian, you gave a great example. Man, I was looking all week since talking to you last time about sanitizing garbage cans. I was looking for someone in my neighborhood who would sanitize my garbage can. I had to do that this weekend because someone put food in my garbage can and it rotted in there and it stunk to high heaven. And I sat there while I'm neck deep in this gulk. I thought, man, I wish somebody would come by and clean these cans for me.
There you go.
It doesn't take much of an imagination to find out what no one else wants to do, and that's where you're going to make the most money.
Sounds like, Wayne, we have a business opportunity that came out after someone put food in your bin. So that's something to look at. Yeah. How about you, David? Any cleaning stories from your end?
No cleaning stories for me, but I did. I would, as I mentioned earlier, I would definitely take the human capital part of it, just with my background, what I'm good at. We went over so far. This is the nice business today. Within all those, I think you can look to find, oh, you're savvy with technology, you're savvy with human resources, you're savvy in other areas. There's an angle that probably comes in. And your entrepreneurial background can be added to everyone.
100%. And for the 10th and final, for those of you who are still with us, thank you for sticking around. I actually have a prop for item number 10. Here he is. This is Charlie. And what we're going to be talking about is pet services. So this is something that I would love to jump into if I weren't already busy with other businesses. I love pets, probably love them more than humans. And I think it's a great business because people are spending billions upon billions, not just on pet services, but pet supplies, pet events, so much around pets and pet services that you can get into depending on how you want to run with it. So Wayne, for you, pet services, any thoughts?
Listen, it's awesome. It really is. Mobile pet grooming, massive amount of business. Even if you have a static location, the location that people go to, tucked in next to a veterinarian clinic. Are you kidding me? You're talking about not just the big guys can get in on the pet grooming, okay? Dog walking. If you are having trouble finding a job, and I'm talking to the 18 and 19, 17-year-old kids right now, if you're having trouble finding a job because they're interviewing and checking references at Taco Bell right now, hey, guess what? Walk around the neighborhood and ask people if you can pet sit, if you can walk their dog. Because let me tell you something. My daughter Reagan told me the other day that there's a large amount of kids that are 19, 20 years old that have never even had their first job. Now, look, that's a very bad thing because you're eventually going to go out and have to work. And if you want to start at 25 on the low rung on the ladder, keep messing around. Don't go getting in any experience, okay? Your boss is going to be younger than you by the time you get started. So please, go find something to do, be entrepreneurial, and get a move on.
Absolutely. David, I know that you are also a proud dad of your young one.
Yeah, but I don't know if we have a dog camp up here on our property.
Oh yeah, you did mention that in our last episode. Yeah. How's it going?
Oh, it's good. Had our best month in a long time.
Oh wow.
And look, we have some great trainers here now. LoveDogsCamp.com for those of you on the Central Coast, right? But
We'll put a link in the description.
yeah, and first of all, if you look at Charlie there, Charlie lives better than most humans and never I know that. Same with my little Codie. Not running around, and I think are running the household.
That's right.
Yes. Tomorrow is part of the Witty community, and we'll have it also on the 21st at 9 a.m. Pacific. We're having a Zoom connecting event for animal lovers, right? And then the people that join via Odyssey and everything, it's finding that common denominator to connect with each other and then building the relationships off of that. And those are some things, if we look at some of these relationship building educational programs, getting thrown into a Zoom room or something with 3 people that you may not have ever met if you were at a conference physically, right? There's definitely value at getting together in person, but don't underestimate whether it's in your company, in your community, in your industry. If you put yourself out there, you can really, everybody's reachable.
Absolutely. All
And
right.
let me just add, if we, look at as Wayne's writing his book, to build 100,000 Instagram followers, and we're gonna watch it here. We'll probably even take on one of our subscribers as to work with, and then you're gonna see it amongst just us here. Yeah, now it's not just I'm reading a book and the person's often somewhere else. You can come into a Zoom room. You can come into watching that person getting advice, right? At the next digital health community that we partner with HPMA on, that's Ian's organization, we're going to have the sleep doctor. Normally I'd see him on the Today Show.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Now I'm going to be here asking him questions about whatever sleep issue I have. So
Absolutely. All right. This was amazing.
Hold
Now,
on. Before we
okay,
leave,
guys. Yep.
I'm going to be out. Hold on. Ian, I'm going to stop you right where you are. I can come.
All right.
Okay. 2 women that I absolutely look up to. Codie Sanchez. She has a business YouTube channel. Fantastic. So if you can't watch us, you need to be watching her. That lady knows she knows her stuff. She's not hard to look at and is absolutely killing it. And I am a huge fanboy. Okay. So I enjoy every bit of her content, and I urge everybody listening to us to go and find her. She's got a great channel, and a lot of the inspiration for what we're doing is actually coming from Codie. Okay. So Codie, I said it. I hope that one day we get to meet, because I am a massive fan of what you're doing. Hey. Number 2, I have to give a shout out to Megan Kelly, not the Megan Kelly from Fox News and from MSNBC, from Business Insider magazine, .com. She put together the actual list that we were talking about today and did a really good job. And it gave me she's at businessesforsale.com. She writes hellacious content, really good content. I could probably make a podcast just parroting everything this woman said. She is fantastic and very well versed. I'm going to put a link to both of these excellent, awesome women in the description, and I'm ordering you to subscribe and leave us a comment and go see these 2 ladies, because they'll give you as much help as we ever will.
All right. So those are 2 open invitations to join our podcast as a guest. We hope you take us up on that offer, and we hope to see you soon. Now, before we go, I want to do a quick roundup of the top 10. So again, number 10, pet services. Great thing to get into if you love pets. Number 9, cleaning services. Wayne provided an example. It goes from cleaning windows to cleaning bodies and everything in between. Number 8, event planning. People want to congregate, to meet, to be out there, especially after COVID. If this is your thing, start with family and friends. Number 7, e-commerce. Wayne, what was the main thing? Go to
Flippa.
Flippa. There we go.
Flippa, the link will be in the description. Yeah, Flippa is a great place to get started if you're thinking of going in anything, drop shipping, e-commerce, Amazon, any of that.
Awesome. And number 6, business consulting. David mentioned, know your stuff before you go out and start telling people what to do. So make sure that you know what you're talking about and be sincere with your business offering. Number 5, senior housing. People are getting older, living longer. And it's not just about existing. There are tons of games, events, activities that the senior housing does. So if you can even combine event planning for seniors, there's so much to do in that area, and that is not going away. And number 4, self-storage. People have a lot of stuff. So if you want to help people tidy up, have a place to store their stuff, or be involved in storage wars, self-storage is something to look at. Number 3, vending machines. And as Wayne mentioned, what was that? Where did you advise them to go to look at for vending machines again?
There's vending organizations all over the place.
Vending
Yeah,
organizations.
vending organizations all over the place, and people that sell those machines. So look, Google is your best friend on that.
Cool. Awesome. And it goes beyond just Twinkies and Ding Dong. Headsets, you can get
For me, it did.
all kinds of things from vending machines. Number 2, laundromats, right? This is something, as David mentioned, AI will not replace. We can't wash our clothes virtually. We still need to go in and do it ourselves. So laundromats are here to stay. And number 1 for top 10 businesses with the highest chance of success is real estate. As Wayne mentioned, everyone needs a place, and over time, you will always win with real estate. So, folks, that rounds up our top 10. Wayne, David, thank you so much for your time. I personally learned a lot of things from these sessions. I hope folks that are listening learn as much as I do as well. Final words, David, Wayne.
Dave?
Amazing, right? I think we'll get it. I think some other lists to look into, and I'm sure this list opened people's eyes. And I think it'll evolve with AI. I think that even some obscure businesses we may want to go into regional businesses, right? Or what to look into. But let's certainly think about that for other episodes. And for our listeners, please, put in the comments, what do you want to hear? Come to us at a Witty event. Come to us on one of the Saturdays for, if you're a man, for the Odyssey events. We have some that are specific for different groups. And then we have an AI community, an ag tech community, a women leadership community. Let us know what you want. Come see us. Let us know how we can support you. And this was some great research, Wayne. I love it. I'm going to look at Megan's stuff for sure.
In today's competitive job market, simply applying for roles isn't enough. Let me show you a smarter approach. Hi, I'm David Leeton with over 30 years of executive search expertise. Together, we'll unlock hidden opportunities. By leveraging the Witty Network and LinkedIn, we'll target companies on the rise where your skills truly shine. Let's explore unadvertised roles in growth-focused companies, aligning your aspirations with thriving organizations. Together, we'll craft a personalized strategy to connect you with the career opportunities you deserve. Experience a tailored approach that goes beyond traditional job hunting, paving the way for your professional success. Join me on this journey to unlock your full potential and secure a fulfilling role in a company you admire. Let's navigate the job market together, leveraging my expertise to guide you towards your dream career path. It's time to step into a future where your professional journey is defined by purpose and passion. Let's make it happen. Discover a new way to approach job hunting, tailored to your unique strengths and ambitions. Your success story starts now. When you are ready, contact us at witty.com.
Look, I will say this. We have grown so quickly. We're in 19 countries, guys. Okay? So we just need to grow this audience. We are very thankful for the people that give us the opportunity to hang out with them for about an hour or so and watch our short, our reels, our clips, whatever you want to call them. Okay. Next week, we are going to talk about our favorite AI tool that's been coming for a long time. We're going to do that next week. You have my word. We're going to do that next week. And a quote from someone in an AI group that I was in. And it was the reason that there's pushback with AI is because AI does not do the dishes or laundry. It does the art and the writing. And that really struck home with me. I do see why people, the fun thing, that AI could take away from us a little bit and not, I want an AI that does dishes, does laundry. So come on with it. Let's do that.
I think Elon is working on that with his Optimus project. So yeah, we'll have some robots doing the dishes for us. So with that, gents, thank you so much to all of our viewers. Thank you for hanging in there. We appreciate the love, and we'll see you next week.